Well, great morning, everyone. Oh, my goodness. Well, we know that Tom Homan is now the head of ICE in Minneapolis. So I want to do a quick read, and let's look and see what's going to happen there. Now he says, if they work with me with prisons and things, then we could back off a little bit and just, go to arresting the worst of the worst first. First. But let's see what the cards have to say, what's happening in Minneapolis with Homan. So the reading's about what's being worked on. Let's see what's being worked on. Documents. They want documents. Now, this could be voter rolls. This could be other documents. Let's see what else it has to say. But working on something to do with documents. Paper trails, documents. Energy coming in at blocking. Blocking things externally. When it comes to the history, wanting to block some things. Like I said, it could be voting, could be things of that nature, but let's see what else we have. What's going on today? Control. Wanting to control. Sometimes it's evidence. It also could be voter, could be monetary, what's flowering, but wanting to control the narrative. Something concrete. He wants something concrete. The challenge. Yeah, what's being birthed. What's being birthed in America. What they're doing. Where things are moving to. Potential outcome. The actions in hand. With friends. With where things are going. Outside influence. The harvest. About the harvest. A message. Let's see what's underneath of it. A short-term success with investigating. Looking deeper. He's after something. Okay? Documents, historic documents, flowering. Things are moving with his friends looking into this. He's got other people wanting to work with him on this with something and messages. Working on blocking things externally, controlling what's being put out to America, the actions when it comes to the harvest, not liking the harvest. So let's go ahead and do a clarifying read and see if it's going to tell us more about Homan, what's going to go on in Minneapolis. Give these a ruffle shuffle here real quick. And we'll just see where this is off to, what they're doing. What is he up to? Okay, the center of it all. What's being handed out. Message about an action. Again, the actions in hand, controlling the actions. Painful, mentally, physically painful. What's being juggled. Above it, the burden. Foundation, the truth. Burden of the truth of what's being handed out. What they're holding on to or want to hold on to, the message about the action to keep the lid on things when it comes to the truth. Okay. When it comes to long-term, what they're planning, being birthed in America, controlling action. Controlling the action outside, coming into it, painful, mentally, physically painful, what's being juggled, what's being handed out with the long term. He wants to keep the lid on something, trying to control, hold on to the actions that they are putting out there, and the truth, the burden of the truth. So let's see what's driving it underneath of it all. We have things being overturned, mentally tying up, being tied up, the truth surrounding all of it, the tempering, the message being put out, concrete message, the swords coming down, a harsh truth where things are moving, what's being worked on when it comes to their abuse and control, mentally retreated. Okay, so they don't care. They're mentally retreated from the abuse that they're doing. Okay, ongoing struggle. Again, wanting to be in a position of power, the divine authority, if you will, charging forward. When it comes to justice, things are hidden from the dark side. The Tower moment, when it comes to those working together, democracy, the wheel is turning on the nightmare scenario, feeling a bit battle weary when it comes to the White House, being out in the cold, pondering what's coming. Again, distancing from some of the things that Trump is doing, or maybe Trump wants to distance from some of this. So what's being shared about a victory when it comes to the things they're doing by the dark of night. Okay, their mental delusion, a new action, figuring out the next move. When it comes to the wealth of evidence and the wealth of things at hand, what's being held on to, there will be more judgment coming out, strengthening of shedding light on the choices being made. The world is watching. This new concrete thing coming out about an ending, what's being offered up by, guess what, guess who, new information, message about information, and where things are going, that actions at hand. Okay, the actions in hand. So that's what I'm getting from this. Let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and do the energy of this and see what else it has to say about it. But again, this is still painful. He's trying to leverage to get something. Could have to do with voter stuff, or again, he's talking about something to do with prisons, etc. So what are they up to? What are they up to? I think I'll use the Lenormand with this time. Let's go back to the Lenormand on the energy of this. So first thing out, it's about the cross to bear, the difficulty. Crossing it is about protection. The law, knowledge, information, and working with somebody else in alliance, the marriage. What's flowering? The foundation is, wanting to walk into something else. Is he wanting to walk away from the law? The cross to bear, what's flowering? Yeah, they're up to something else there. Energy coming into it, what's at the heart of it? Dark mindset, okay. Dark mental occlusion. When it comes to the information, the knowledge, the light dawning, energy going forward, what's being cut, cutting a doorway. Cutting a doorway. Above it, trying to sweep things under the carpet or arguments. When it comes to people looking for aid, okay? Fireworks. So think it's going to get better? Fireworks. When it comes to protection, working with others. Foundation, light on what he's walking into. People looking for the aid above it. More knowledge, the information, the evidence, all the stuff underneath of it, what's flowering. Coming into it, at the heart of it, the dark mindset, the cross to bear when it comes to the law, etc. Cutting a doorway, okay. Driving it when it comes to protection and working an alliance with others. So I'll leave that there, and that's what we're getting this morning with Homan coming in there. I don't know what he wants about prison systems, but I know they've been pressing for voter rolls and stuff like that. Now, they just went into Georgia. Let me pick some cards on that. They just went into Georgia with a federal thing and took all the voter ballots. They took all the voter ballots in Georgia. That just happened. Okay? They want their voter rolls in Minnesota. So rapidly, about the desire, message about an action, the desire, an action. Yeah, they want the information. Okay. Oh my God. They want information. Walking away. Yeah, distancing from information to abuse. To abuse. Yeah, They want to skew the voter rolls. They want to skew the elections. Above it, yeah, they want the evidence in hand. They want the voter information in hand. What's being handed out, that's what they want to be handed. They want the concrete information about the voters. That's the desire behind it. The Nine of Cups, the desire behind it is to abuse the power. Handing this out, making them walk away, getting rid of their votes. Wanting to get to a better place with what's offered up. Okay? They want to restrict mentally. This is about the information. This is about their ideation, the mental realm, their idea to restrict. Getting to a better place both with what's offered up, restricting voters, restricting their votes. They are trying to figure out how to rig the elections coming up. They've gotten all the voter rolls, all the ballots from the one that he says that Biden stole. Those are the ones they took. Okay, in Georgia, from that election. And they're leaning on Minnesota to get the voter information there. So they are actively out there to find out who voted for what and how they can skew it, how they can throw out votes, how they can railroad people from being able to vote. Okay? So they are really up to no good, as usual. Anyway, so on that note, I'll leave that here, and we'll see you online.